of all, I would like to express my gratitude to all the organizers, and there are many working around of this Congress. In special, I would like to thank our friend Jamal Noor for the beauty and the light of this event, of this occasion to gather here around Ibn Arabi in our time, which is a present, forever a present. Now, before I start reading my paper, I would like to thank also the designer of this beautiful image for the Congress. I think it's quite significant that we have this sinuous line dividing or uniting both realms of the Ghaib and the Shahada. One would say that these are the letters appearing in the Shahada world of vision, and the letters hidden in the black color of light. And Ibn Arabi is in the middle as a Barzakh, beautiful this line through his name. And in some manuscripts I found of him, he received by the editor of the manuscript, he received the name of Barzakh al-Barazikh, the isthmus of the isthmus, the intermediary word par excellence. So thank you for the design. Now the time of this and the time of spiritual knowledge. I have to explain that the translator is angry with me because she wants me to improvise, but my English is very limited, so I would prefer rather to read. Please be patient. I will try to go slowly. So the time of this and the time of spiritual knowledge, the past and future of Gnosis and sainthood in Ibn al-Arabi's Kitab al-Isfar in particular. In his book of the unveiling of traveling effects, or alternatively, the revelation of the fruits of the holy books, Ibn Arabi refers to those who are guided to travel in God, or more literally, those who are made to travel in Him. That is to say, those who don't travel by their own means, efforts and faculties, but by the grace of divine providence. They also says that these who are made to travel in Him are the messengers, the prophets, and the chosen among those close to God, the awliya, such as the verifiers of reality, al-muhaqqiqun, among the Sufi masters, like Sahl bin Abdullah al-Tustari, al-Bistami, Farqad al-Sabakhi, al-Junayd, al-Hasan al-Basri, as well as others whose celebrity has survived up to the present day. End of quotation. Now, the predominance in the past of good deeds and the predominance of knowledge for the future. After this mention of his predecessors in the way, Ibn Arabi introduces within the historical and eschatological background of a spiritual imaginal history a reflection on the inversely proportional relationship in the Islamic era between deeds and gnosis, between doing and knowing, which constitutes a point of departure for a possible consideration of the present and the future of mysticism and gnosis. He says, in any case, since the dwelling of the hereafter is nearer, this time of our present days is not the same as the time of the past. The unveiling, kashf, these days extends and multiplies among those who are gifted with this faculty, and the glimmers of light have begun to shine and show themselves clearly and profusely, so that the people of our times have access to unveiling more rapidly, and likewise they enjoy a greater capacity for inner contemplation, shuhud, and more abundant direct knowledge, ma'rifah, as well as a more perfect understanding of the sublime realities, haqaiq. In contrast, the deeds or ritual works, if we prefer, are less numerous than the deeds of those who lived in times past, as Zamanı al-Mutaqaddim. Although this affirmation could be extended to all the past, I understand that the author refers here in particular to the Islamic cycle and therefore to a first part of the Islamic era, especially in its beginning, which would last until his own time, after which there would be, it is understood, a subsequent time until the end of the era. He continues saying, with relation to the spiritual people of the past, those realize more deeds but receive less spiritual openings and unveilings than we have in our era, given that they were farther removed from the arrival of the other life in the hereafter. One must accept, nevertheless, the time of the companions of the Prophet, because the few among those companions who had been enlightened had all of this, that is to say, unveiling wisdom and spiritual knowledge, since they were rewarded with the vision of the Prophet, may God bless him, and with the closeness of the angelic spirits, who with each new breath descended on him. Among them there were Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, Umar ibn al-Khattab, Ali ibn Abi Talib, may God be satisfied with them, and their kinsmen. In the past then, deeds and praxis predominated, just as at the present day, science has become predominant. And its predominance will not stop growing incrementally until the second coming of Jesus. May peace be with him. And this, until that point, well, only one prayer realized today by ourselves is equivalent to all the acts of adoration of a person from the past during the whole of his life. وَالرَّقَعَةُ الْيَوْمَ مِنَّا كَعِبَادَةِ شَخْصٍ مِّمَّنْ تَقَدَّمَ عُمْرَهُ كُلَّهُ. In this regard, the Prophet, may God bless him, addressing himself to his contemporaries, said, whoever among them, the people at the immediacy of the eschatological end, will act doing good works at that time, will receive a reward equivalent to that of 50 men who realize deeds such as yours. What an excellent expression with such subtle allusion. And end of quote. Hence the assertion of Ibn Arabi is emphatic. Of course, in the text, the word to act refers mainly to acts of adoration, just as to know refers mainly to mystical knowledge. The writer could have simply said that as the execution of deeds becomes more difficult, then they would also have more value. Nevertheless, he has preferred to put a rak'ah on the same level as an entire life of prayer. If the author considers that the later was already thus in his lifetime, we wonder what the situation would be 8 centuries afterwards. In any case, this equivalence has to be understood in the light of the doctrine of accumulative knowledge, as we shall see below.